Go find my dad. Hey, Dad.
What, Megan?
What are you doing?
Working in the garden. What do you think?
It's cold and it's rainy.
It's perfect to work in the garden this time of
Perfect.
year. There's so much to do in the middle of February. I got to get out here and, I'm raking up leaves. I'm pruning branches.
Yep.
I'm transplanting stuff. This is the perfect time because the plants are still, most of them are still pretty dormant, and they can stand being moved around and that kind of thing.
So is that what you're doing right there?
Where?
Right here
Oh.
with the shovel.
Yeah, no, this was an open area that I want to transplant a plant here. So I've just started loosening the soil. But let me show you.
Okay.
So right here we got rosemary,
Yep,
and I know you know rosemary because
I do.
you cook with it and everything.
The one plant I know.
You know more than one plant. But anyway, there's rosemary. That's not the plant I'm looking to move because it seems to really like it here. But over here, let me move in front of the camera. Over here, what looks, folks at home, you're probably wondering, it's just a bunch of little sticks. And that's exactly what it looks like. This is Virginia sweetspire, which is a native plant that it was initially found in Virginia. And it's got beautiful white flowers, bees all over it in April. This is a dwarf cultivar. And you can see it's getting crowded by a bunch of things. In addition, I got this oak tree that keeps getting bigger. So I'm getting more and more shade. This likes full sun. So I'm going to dig this up, put it over in that hole.
Now.
Yeah, I'm going to do it
right now.
Do it right now, late February. It'll start to root in. It'll be fine. I mean, ideally, I should have done this back in the fall, November, because then you get good root establishment. But this plant is so vigorous. To do it in February, March is not a problem. And when do we plant most of our trees and shrubs, flowers and perennials? In the springtime. So as long as I keep make sure it gets hydrated with water until it gets established, I'll be fine. So,
Okay.
But yeah, that's what I'm doing because there's not a whole lot happening in the garden as far as flowering. I mean, there are a few things that are flowering, but.
Well, what are all of those?
Okay, so this is a great perennial. And I think a lot of
Because that's a lot of flowers.
Yeah, and a lot of gardeners out there you probably know this plant. This is Lenten Rose is the common name. Also called, the scientific name is Helleborus. It's a hellebore. And this is Helleborus orientalis, which is the most common hellebore. There are lots of hybrids now. A lot of people are doing hellebore breeding. But it's an evergreen perennial that makes this kind of nice carpet ground cover about 18 inches tall.
It's really pretty.
Isn't it pretty? And they hybridize amongst themselves naturally.
Really?
Yeah, they're very precocious. They're like rabbits. But and so you notice the different flower colors? You get different shades.
Well, they're so droopy. It's hard to.
Well, okay, so Megan, the hellebore is got self-esteem problems. The flowers do, because you see how they're all hanging down.
Yeah.
In fact, that's why a lot of plant breeders are working to get the flowers to come to be up so they can be seen a little bit more. But come down here and take a look. You can see what the flower actually looks like. Isn't that pretty?
Oh, that's so pretty.
Really nice patterns on the petals, stamens, and pistils inside. So, and like I said, this is a pretty standard. There's if you look over there, you'll see there's a little bit more.
I'm gonna follow your finger.
You see the burgundy?
Oh,
there,
yeah.
And then there's some white as well. And then if you point the camera, viewers might really enjoy this. If you point the camera right in there, you see that shows the carpet.
It goes so far back.
It does go far back. We can go around. I'll show you the other area. But these things are tough as nails. It's an evergreen perennial. Cool. So these leaves have been on. I should have cut them off back in December to let the new shoots and the flowers come through. But even if you don't, if you're a lazy gardener like me, they still look really good.
They do.
And but shade, they're real shade tolerant, but they will do okay in sun as well. The only problem with is they're pretty enthusiastic.
But they're not like gonna kill other stuff.
They're not considered invasive, but they're
good.
They're so enthusiastic that they're starting to encroach in this bed. But this is what's so great about sharing this plant. Take a look. If I take
sharing it.
Yep. If I take my shovel, just dig down like that.
Yep.
All right. Shake off the soil. Okay, so here's a cluster.
Wow.
Here's a cluster. See these are that's the new growth there.
Wow.
I'll put this in a pot wrap it in newspaper, give it to friends, give it to other
That's
gardeners.
cool.
Share it at a plant swap if I go to a garden club meeting and I'm speaking there or something. Tough. You can do this in the middle of the summertime. Now, this is ideal during the winter. Fall, winter, early spring works out great. But yeah,
That's really cool.
And so you can see that I can get a lot taken care of by doing that. It's just a lot of
I'll
work.
take that one home.
Oh yeah, you can have it. All somebody'd have to do would be to call me and say, look, do you have any extra hellebores? I have hundreds.
I'll probably
crazy.
kill it because
No, you can't. You can't.
Well-
This is one of those plants that, in my mind, I'll give it as a gift to a brand new gardener because they don't know. They don't know everything about taking care of plants, but you can't kill that thing. You really can't.
Well, and for viewers at home, I really don't know how to garden. So these questions are genuine.
That's true. That's true. For the folks at home, Meghan, who I keep referring to, she's the videographer. She's my daughter, and she says, "Hey, let's do some YouTube videos." So I'm going to start posting more on, and you'll get to know her better because she can't not talk. So even if she's behind.
Well, and I really genuinely don't understand the garden other than appreciating yours.
let's
Wait,
What?
hold on, move. What's happening in there?
Okay, so in the wheelbarrow, look at this. In the wheelbarrow.
Yeah, I see it.
No, that's just a dead shrub. That's not even dead yet, but it will be.
Oh.
No, you see, this was a.
What is that?
What was this? Oh, it was a hibiscus that I grew for last summer, and it's not hardy. It's tropical. So I didn't bring it in. I don't have room inside, and so this is the soil ball here, and
That's
roots
sad.
and what. Well, I'm going to put it all in a compost pile and recycle this soil.
Okay.
Sometimes you use it as a mulch. This plant, this is Hinoki false cypress. This is a yellow cultivar, and I had it planted back in an area there, and it was just getting crowded. Look, you know this. I've been gardening in this spot for 40 years, and plants get big. They crowd in on other plants. They need to be taken care of. They need to either be moved or disposed of. And one thing I've learned as a gardener is a plant is a plant, and it's just a plant. And so therefore, if I dig it up and dispose of it, cut it up, and get rid of it, then so be it. I've got room for another new plant. As a gardener, I'm all about the process more so than I am about the end result. So that's what I've got there.
Oh, it's kind of sad.
Yeah. Well, and this will all get taken care of, but
It'll go back in the
that's just the way it
garden
goes. Yeah.
as compost.
Oh, you got to see this though.
More hellebores.
No, more hellebores here, yes.
Yeah.
But this, you might think,
that?
what on earth?
Yep, that's what I'm thinking.
Okay, so I'm moving all the stuff off the top.
Okay.
And if you can come in close and look, do you see some purple shoots?
Oh,
You see them?
yeah.
Okay. This is a pot of hosta. All
Oh.
right. So Hosta fortunii is the scientific name. Hosta is the common name. Hostas are a great shade tolerant plant. The only problem with hostas is that voles, little rodents that tunnel just underneath the mulch or underneath the soil, love to eat the roots of hostas. And so if I plant a hosta in the ground, within 2 weeks, they've eaten the roots and it's dead.
Really?
Yep. So I grow all my hostas in containers.
Hold on, let me see. Is that one behind you
Got
too?
one here, here's one, and they're so hardy, I just leave them in the containers right here in central North Carolina, so we're zone 8A now, that's the new hardiness zone. I just leave them like this, they overwinter like this. I'll clean them up just like this time of year, just like that, and then new sprouts will come, and by summertime, by late spring, the leaves will be fully out and they'll be flowering in early summer.
That's very cool.
That's a way to keep from having to deal with voles that might go ahead and eat your hosta roots. But
Wow.
all right, so
Back to the hellebores.
come on back here. I'll show you the.
They're everywhere. Look, over here.
That's pretty neat.
They're very pretty.
Let's see. How about? Yeah, come on, right up here, Megan. Come all the way up here, and
Oh, wow.
so
Look at that.
I only planted a few.
Really?
hostas about 10, 15 years ago. And this is they've all reseeded and
Wow.
hybridized amongst themselves. And so have this kind of a nice carpet. And I love the way the tree sits right in the middle of it.
Yeah.
And the bark on the tree, that's Chinese fringe tree, Cainanthus retusus, which, by the way, folks, if you look on the YouTube channel, you'll see.
Look at them all.
You'll see there's a 2-minute nice video on this is my favorite tree, Caenathus retusus. Beautiful white flowers in early April. But that's it's in there, and then yeah, you can walk on this. Now, granted, you don't want to walk right on the flowers, but tough as nails. Really.
Yeah, so like when my kids jump out of the tree,
It doesn't bother me.
doesn't bother
No,
you or the hellebores.
Don't kill the plants. No, it's not bothering me at all. But there's so much, folks at home. There's so much to do in late February and early March, and this is just scratching the surface. A lot of it's cleanup. I go through my Japanese maples and just shake the branches a little bit, and the dead branches just break. So that's a way to clean out the branches as well. And then I start planning for my spring garden. Think about repotting some of the plants I had in pots and overwintered, which actually, Megan, maybe next week we can do a video on, potting up plants that you overwintered in pots.
Yeah.
But,
and what about all the pine straw you got out in your driveway?
In the front yard, had 50 bales delivered day before yesterday. I don't use pine straw in my plant beds. I use it in my walkways, in my paths. It's a great color, gives a nice soft feel to walk on, and it decorates nicely in that regard. So although pine straw is a halfway decent mulch, I don't use it as for mulching my beds because I have a lot of plants in my beds. I just use soil conditioner for that. But yeah, that's what the pine straw is.
Got it.
What the pine straw is for.
Took up my parking spot.
Well, you got to sacrifice somewhere, right?
Yeah.
So, anyway, folks, take a look at some of the other videos, and Megan and I have decided that 2024 is going to be the year of the YouTube channel. We're gonna start putting all different kinds of videos. You'll get to know her, the family, but also all the different kind of gardening tricks and mistakes and fun things with that. So until the next video, we'll be looking for you.
Yeah, and I'm going inside because it's cold.
Okay, let's go.